to Momentous Struggle, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. On this week's episode, Aubrey and I are going to recap our event that we had this weekend, and also probably talk about it's a conversation that came up at the end of our event, but people were talking about Rift Tamsin and how he's coming out the gate. So kind of wanted to talk about that because it was an interesting conversation. So we'll go ahead and jump on into it. As always, joined by Aubrey. Aubrey, I know we're going to get to the event that we played in yesterday, so I'm sure you have a lot to say about that. How are you doing today?
I'm awake. I'm here. Yesterday was a long event for me. But no, I got some more work done on Baze and Chirrut. I need to go back and do some highlighting and like finish Baze's face and a few things like that. So I'm just happy because I figured out a way to there's so many dangly bits on him, and people were giving me advice in the Discord, and I finally was just like, I am going to prime all the individual parts, put it together, and paint as I go while I'm putting it together because They've too many things on them, Todd, and they're all different colors.
Yeah, that happens. That happens from time to time.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Still working my way through that core box I'm painting for the new player. So I've got all of the Anakin squad done. I have the 2 Clan Kryze Mandos done, and I'm probably about halfway through Bow right now, and with the base, and got about the base coats on Ahsoka. So about halfway through the characters. I'll probably be by the end of midweek I should be done with the about half of the box, and then I'll start working on the bad guy half of the box, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. So making progress. Making progress on it. So and then I'm going to put together his terrain and probably just do a quick airbrush on those, not go too detailed on it, but just get some color on those for him and everything like that. But yeah, just kind of working my way through that. And it's I was about to pick up the boss box yesterday, and I'm like, I'm not going to get those painted anytime soon. I still have 6 boxes that I own already that aren't painted. I'm like, no, be somewhat responsible. Just get through what your back, the project you have for the new player, and then the backlog that you have of your stuff, and then you can go ahead and buy some new stuff and play with that. So, so I'm kind of just working through that. But yeah, so that mostly hobby for me as well.
Yeah. I feel your pain. I still have a lot of Republic that hasn't really gotten painted because it would always be like, this is what's going to save Republic. No, it didn't. Back in your box. This is what's going to save Republic, and on and on. But yep. Now, of course, Republic doesn't need saving. Oh, boy.
No, they're in great place right now.
Yeah. Oh, other stuff. I forget that we have a podcast, so I should announce things on the podcast. We are starting a Star Wars book club, and I just put the title selection in the Discord. There's a thread for it, and I will figure out a date for when we do a live discussion about the book. So it's Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray.
Yeah. Which I was fantastic to, I was very happy about that one because I didn't have to go buy another book. I just had to start re-listening to the audiobook that I already bought a while back. So I'm like, okay, I could listen to this while I'm driving to and from stuff. So chapter at a time. So yeah, I started my re-listen of Master and Apprentice. It was funny. For some reason in my mind, Master and Apprentice and Brotherhood melded. So it's I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh wait, no, this is Qui-Gon. Anakin's not around yet. Because I just had this mix of books in my mind for some reason. So I'm like, okay, yep, now I'm on the right path. So it's fun to re-listen to that. Doing a review of that original book. So yeah, definitely hop in the Discord. The link will be in that in the show notes and everything. So definitely, if you're interested in joining our book club and having a discussion about different books, so we're going to probably try and do one maybe every month, every other month or something like that, doing a new book. So jump in the Discord and join the Aubrey's book club. because I figured it's fitting since you're a librarian, you might as well have a book club here too.
I am a professional book club connoisseur. I don't know. Connoisseur. I don't know. Teacher.
There you go. But yeah, no, it's pretty exciting stuff. And then I know before we jump into our events, I wanted to kind of talk about the Evergreen Open, because we have two locals that had decided to take the trip to the Pacific Northwest and play in Omnis's event of it, the Evergreen Open at Dragonflight game convention, which is, so it's interesting. So the way that they're doing it is they had the Swiss on Friday, and then they have the Swiss for MCP on Saturday in the same space, so that the top 8 will actually be today, Sunday. So it was just really interesting that they had to split it up because of space concerns and stuff like that. So I'm assuming like top 8 for both games will be today at the same time in that same space. But no, go figure. The two 4-0s from that event in Swiss were from Zion's finest, of course, Kenny and Scott Nielsen from Zion, the two most competitive people I know over on that side of the house, definitely going 4-0.
Right.
And so that's pretty wild. But I mean, Kenny had a huge he had a rough go of it, man. So he's going to be going into Cerakool for the top 8, which it looks like that's already been announced. We can go through those pairings. But he went round 1 into Dylan from Canada, who has his channel. Time to Nerd, is that like I don't want to screw that up, but
Yes.
So his channel, and then round 2 into Chris Sampson, our local. Round 3 into Nick, our other local, and then Chris CV for the final. And I think he's another Canadian. So it was just like, I mean, he had a rough go of it and still came out 4-0. So it was like that's impressive. Right there. And of course, like I said, top 8, he's going into Cerakool. I think let me see if they've got the top 4. Doesn't look like that. Oh wait, Top Cut. Yeah, so Top Cut is now up. It'll be Donovan's going into Chris CV. Kenny is going into Cerakool. Nick is going into Dr. Hugh, and then Chris Sampson is going into Scott Nelson. So
those are some matchups.
Right. It's like just a murderer's row, basically, of all of that. So the Cerakool Kenny one, I'm assuming is either that one or the Sampson Scott one. Well, I think Dylan and Omnis are both recording games from what I've heard. So I'm assuming the Cerakool game versus Kenny and the Chris game versus Scott are probably both the games getting recorded and will probably be up on one of those two channels at some point in time. So one of those two YouTube channels. So definitely check those two channels out, because I think there's going to be some good content coming down from the event this past weekend.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just what we were hearing in the Discord, which while we were at our tournaments, I was like trying to keep up, but also like, busy, and sounds like they've been having a great time over there.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. It sounds like it's just been an amazing run of it. So, yeah, definitely excited to see like how this turns out. So I'm sure by the time the this podcast goes live, the results will be out there and everything along those lines. But yeah, good luck to everybody. I'm definitely pulling for our locals. So sorry, Scott. I'm kind of rooting for Chris here, and I will say Cerakool's kind of a local at this point in time to us. He's close enough in being in Nevada.
Honorary local.
Yeah, he's an honorary Arizonian, so I'm kind of rooting for him over Kenny. Sorry, Kenny, but yeah, so it's like, but shoot, he's coming down to our GT again, so he's been down here for 2 GTs already. So yeah, he's pretty much a local at this point. If you've played in 2 major events with us, you're kind of a local.
There you go.
So excited to see how that plays out. I'm sure I'll be just glued to my phone watching the results come in and everything along those lines as I do my dadly duties all weekend long. But yeah, exciting stuff.
We'll see if Kenny keeps bullying people. That's what I heard. Definitely
bullying
people.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if that ends up being the case there at all. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. him and Scott, man, they just run through people. They are very very good players for sure. Well, let's jump over to our event and see how take a look at that one. So, I don't. Do you want to talk about how your day went, Aubrey? Because I know that it was not the best of days for you.
Well, let's get mine out of the way, and then we can listen to a happy story. How about that? I mean, I did also play a league game. I could talk about that after this because that was more interesting. Okay, so it's not. Well, I'm just gonna go round by round because it was just this bad. So my first round was against Silver Lining. He was on full Republic Premiere, as is his way, and so I dropped because I was playing Cassian Kanan and the Mando Kiadi Mundi list that Nick was repping before Delta came out, and so because the idea is, with that list is you have 3 diceless displacements. You have Mando's Clan of 2. You have Force Repulse from Shock T, and you have Force Push from Kiadi Mundi. And so this is supposed to be like the anti Obi-Wan tech. So I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's try this. And mind you, I only had one game under my belt with this list, so it's not like I'm the most practiced with it. But the idea is you have the Shock T, Kiadi Mundi 5-0 first on one side, and then Mando Bo coverts on the other side to be like your mobility piece, and you have the shoves and from the coverts and from Bo making things stickier, which is fine, except that my order deck, actually no, both of our order decks are super weird. We both had like early Shatterpoint, early primaries. So like my Kiadi Mundi spent most of the game like sitting not even on a point because I had to go with him so early that he was just like halfway to the midline because we were playing on Never Tell, because I brought that primarily for the Cassian list, but I did not want to let Republic play on. I think he had Sabotage, and I was like, nope, I'm going to make things awkward for both of us, and I have Mandalorian, so it's not going to be as awkward for me. Unless, of course, my order deck makes it so that everything on one side of the table was going and nothing on the other side of the table was going, so I couldn't get anywhere. And then now this is just Silver Lining is a good player. But there were multiple occasions where, because of his board positioning, I could not force repulse or force push anything off at all. Everything had like a wall behind it or a thing behind it, and then of course, if you're dealing with Obi, the hunker if I try to like do combat damage first and shove them somewhere and then force push them, what happens, Todd?
Absolutely nothing.
Exactly. Absolutely nothing. Like, and this is going to be like a theme of the day, because I did make one mistake. I didn't take a point because I should have just ran up with Shock T, not attacked Rex, and just force repulsed him off the point. But instead, I attacked first because I wanted to get in chip damage, and I was like, well, I'm going to force repulse after. But that was when I got caught by, again, good on Silver Lining. He popped the hunker and then moved Rex to somewhere where I couldn't force repulse him. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, stop. Because like that was like the one opportunity where he had attacked Shock T off the point with Rex. So like that's why Rex was on the point. But he was finally not in like a good position. So I was like, just run up, force repulse him, great. Yeah, unless you mess it up from me. Except we ran it back, and he was like, "Well, I mean, basically, my next activation, I would have taken the point from you anyway, so it didn't it didn't matter." And like that was the theme of my day, is that there would be a couple of times where I would make a mistake, or it would look like I was making a mistake, and then we would run through the other decision that I made, and neither of them worked. neither of the options were were going to benefit me in any way because they were going to be like immediately undone. So, but I mean, it's always, it's fun to play. Silver Lining is a great player. He's got a lot of experience. So, we commiserated over childhood toys. I see you, buddy. It's a thing. It's a thing, Todd. I'm starting my own Momentous struggle, childhood trauma from missing toys, therapy.
Okay. Okay. I guess I will find Aubrey on the island of misfit toys at some point in time, and he'll be okay over there. So that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my round.
Do you want to talk about your round one?
Sure. Yeah, I'll bring that up. So I mean, I played my round one. So like overall, like I brought the Cad Bane list, Cad Mandalorian bounty hunters list that I've been like having fun playing, which is Cad Bane, IG-88, bounty hunters, and then Mandalorian with Bossk, Han, and Chewie. And then the other side, I just brought an Iden Vader list, which was Iden, DTE, ISF with Vader Emperor's Servant, Stormtrooper Sergeant, and Dark Troopers. And then so for my first round, I ended up, it was a newer player in Duke Wolf, which is Don, and we played on shifting. I played on shifting every round for some reason, which was weird. So basically, he showed up, and I was like, I would want to get more reps in with that bounty hunter list, so I dropped that in, and he brought, I forget what his other list was, but he ended up playing Boss and Hunter, which was, I mean, really cool, but he was a newer player, so, I mean, there was a lot of teaching moments, I think, in this game, kind of just going through, like, hey, you do this, hey, you do that. I completely forgot he was playing Hunter, because, where he deployed him was behind this giant building, or no, it was a giant like hill basically thing. So I completely forgot he was playing Hunter, and like about halfway through Struggle 2, I'm like, I had gone with both my primaries and you didn't move Hunter with his ability. So I'm like, oh, I mean, you forgot about this. Like, so there was a lot of missed opportunities, missed triggers that he had. Not triggers, but missed opportunities of like different abilities that just being like, I was focused on playing my list and kind of trying to remember all this stuff, because there's a lot going on with the bounty hunter list too, that I wasn't, and I hadn't played Boss yet or against Boss yet. So it was like, there was like, I didn't know a lot of the stuff that he was doing. And then I just completely forgot about Hunter. So there was like a lot of things where it's like, man, you know, as you play this, here's a lot of things to remember. So we're going through those and a lot of teaching moments, but that, you know, the bounty hunter list, they just roll a lot of dice. Like being able to just add 3 dice with IG-88, and that's going to be a thing. Like kind of like in my last game that I play against Austin, that comes up a lot in our game. But just being able to be like, I'll pay a force and add 3 dice, and you know, just kill something. You know, and that's basically kind of the gist of it. I think on the first couple of attacks, I usually don't do that because it's trying to soften something up so I don't lose the momentum, or something along those lines. But you know, but with Cad Bane, just like, oh, I'm gonna roll 10 dice, or you know, with Mando, I'm gonna roll 10 dice. It's like, yeah, you're gonna just do like there's times where it's like, okay, I'm rolling 10 dice, I got 4 fails, you know, but that's okay because I also have 3 crits and 3 hits or something like that. So it's just wild when you get stuff like that happens. But it was a fun game. I mean, like, it's kind of teaching moments.
Yeah, I really forgot how much fun it was to play with Mando. Like, if nothing else, from how the rest of this day went, it was a lot of fun playing with Mando. So I might have to keep running back the non Delta Squad version of this list, just because it's a lot of fun. I did. Silver Lining and I did have an interesting conversation where, if you're like me and you're not a big fan of Ki-Adi-Mundi, he was like, well, you could give up a little bit of the diceless displacement and just play Obi-Wan. He's like, that would be a super tanky and displacement type list, and it would be pretty unique. So I might try that. I might try that too. Yeah. But round 2, are you ready for round 2, Todd?
I don't know if you and Dane were. But sure, go for it. So you played, and we got to say it right, you played Maglador's brother in round 2.
Dane. Wait,
Yeah,
what?
Maglador's brother. No, he
Yeah.
he likes being called just Maglador's brother. That's what he told me. He's like, he
Oh
was
God! I'm like, why are you, Todd? You have to let me in on these bits beforehand because I'm like, why are you emphasizing this? Like, I'm like, yes.
no.
Like, why are we
It was
talking about it?
the first time you played against him. You basically only called him Maglador's brother the entire time you were going. Like you talked about it, so he was like, "Yeah, that's who I am." I'm like, "Yes, Dane, that's who you are. You have been regulated
Hey,
to just being
he
Maglador's
should be.
brother."
He should be happy I remembered that detail. Usually I go, that person that I know has a brother somewhere, and I don't even realize it's Austin. Like, guys, the ADHD baby in my skull, I sometimes will show up and be like, oh yeah, I do know you. Even though we've been interacting in Discord or whatever. I'm sorry. Anyway, Todd, our struggle one was 100 minutes long. No, wait, yeah, 90 minutes is mission critical, right? Our struggle
Yep.
one was 100 minutes long. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. No, that was funny because
I
like I called Mission Critical, and Dane just leans forward. He goes, "Did you call Mission Critical?" I'm like, yeah. He goes, "We're still on struggle one."
it was okay. So I have to explain. So first off, the early struggles, we pull our shatter points early, then we like pull our primaries early. Like again, this was almost like with Dane not with Dane, with Silver Lining all over again. Like we pull. So all of our big plays kind of went out the window because we started using them just to get points and get positioning. And we're on the dreaded, so we're on Never Tell again. We're on that stupid X formation that can lead to this quagmire, right? Because you just get your 2 back points super easy, and then you have to fight over the middle point because that's the one that's like basically up for grabs and up for change until you can get up the board. But then like our early attacks were all like super pillow fisted. Like our dice were both weird in our first early attack, so we only kind of got chip damage. And then he was able to finally move far up enough that he took a 4th point, and so he started getting an advantage because now we're doing the 4-3 thing. But then I had a big play with the covert. I think it was with the covert Mandos, where I was able to take 2 points back from him. It was Bo-Katan moving the coverts onto a point, and then Bo-Katan running all the way into his back line like Bo-Katan can, right? Mm-hmm. To snag a point that he had gotten at the beginning of the game, but he had moved everyone up, and Callus and someone else hadn't gone yet. Oh, because he had a Cassian PLC list and an Inquisitor list that he had played round 1, and I figured I didn't want to have like a Cassian off, so I ran back my same list. Sorry, I forgot to say what I was playing against. So anyway, it was Callus and Cassian that were both over there. And so like I was able to suddenly swing the game back, and then he had a really rough, again, we have really weird dice roll, like statistically below average, and he like didn't get Bo off that point when he really should have been able to, so then that got weird. And then, remember all that chip damage from earlier? We took so long because I literally was clawing the struggle tracker slowly back to my side for the longest time. All of the models in the center went down. All of them. There were like 6 models that, because we're playing on that little Gothic Center building in the middle of the table, and so it's kind of like the new terrain piece that came out. It's got kind of a rounded edge but more spread out. And we had 2 Rebel Commandos, Kiadi Mundi, Mando, his Princess Leia, eventually one of my covert Mandos, all up there. Nothing else could get up there. And then they were all dead, except for Leia and Mando. All dead.
Nice.
And so And so eventually he just started abandoning that point and moving over and taking my back point from Shock T, which led to some shenanigans and then Mission Critical got called because it took so freaking long, and then he was able to take the struggle there, but like not on the spot. Like I think it was my turn. We did scoring, but then the scoring was just so tight at that point that going to his turn, once he figured out he had to like take an objective and get a wound, and so like it took a little bit of time to like figure out what the line was, because I think he like drew his Shatterpoint too or something. I might be making that part up, but the point was is I remember him going into the tank, but he did the thing, took the struggle, and then we like tried to speed round the next struggle, but he started waking up his people basically like right before I was waking everybody up, and so he just kind of took all of the objectives, and then it came down to you called time, and like yeah, he had the two objectives, but we took a second to look at the board, and he's like, oh, I just do an attack and a Shock T, I wound her again. That was the name of this game. I went 0-2 because it was wound Mission Critical. Dane wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you like just like got your opponents, I mean, just beat up on you. Like Silver Lining, he doesn't play a very aggressive list. He's more of a positional type of player, so he only did 3 wounds. But like your last 2 games, like your opponents each had 6 wounds. So it's like you were just getting beat up, man, in the last 2 games. Like
Yeah.
it was, your models were punching bags for sure. But like so this game,
Yeah,
so basically you played
and how was? Oh, sorry.
well, no, you played Kiadi and you played and Mando again, so you were list locked going into your 3rd round. So that's something else that like will probably might come up. I don't know, but yeah, we can definitely after we talk about my round, can definitely talk about that.
Yeah. So how was
But
yours?
yeah, mine. So this was a interesting one. So like my round 3 or round 2, I ended up going into Izzy, and I knew I would be playing into Mandalorians because that's what he always plays. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go with my Empire list, which was Vader 2 and Iden. And man, I came out the gate swinging. So I played. I had a lot of wounds in all of my games. I had 6 in the first one, 6 in this one, and 5 in the next. So I mean, I was just playing kill everything I possibly can kill type of list. But the start to this was like, yeah, that is. But the start to this was ridiculous. So like I'm playing the ISF. So of course ISF can deploy at range 3. So they were up and we were playing shifting priority. So they were up on the center right, like, or they were up on like the right and left, like right on the points, like when I deployed them on the back center and back right points. So my first activation, I pulled Death Trooper Escort. And of course, he has his tactic ability. At the start of his activation, I can choose a Galactic Empire support unit, and each unit can dash. So basically, because of like where ladders were and everything like that, I was able to dash both of them forward and get them within range 2 of the 2 center objectives on the right and in the center. So on the center line. So I had 2 like first activation. The characters that I wasn't even activating were able to sit there and get to the center objective. And then, of course, I can tactical advance and do a full move to move DTE up the board. So basically at the begin, like after the first turn, I had 3 objectives with 2 people on one of the objectives.
Oh, Todd, that's mean.
It was. So then, like my second pull was the ISF too. So like they're already in position to sit there and just shoot into stuff. Yeah. So basically, I won the first struggle really fast, which I think probably was my downfall because then our struggle 2 took forever. It was just a long. I think we played struggle 2 for like probably about an hour, almost an hour, because I know by the time we got into. Yeah,
shifting?
It was just unshifting. It was just this back and forth, like just the flip on both of like both struggles 2 and struggle 3 were crazy. So it was like it was a long one because it was like I got ahead, then I fell behind, and back and forth. So that went well, and I think the issue I think I had more than anything was like some of my attacks were kind of weak. His attacks were kind of weak. We were just having these attacks where it was just like two successes, one success, one success. You know, one down the tree, two maybe two down the tree. Nothing really
Jeez.
explosive like like after that initial turn. And the reason I got so far ahead to begin with really wasn't the wounds. It was just the being able to just push everybody forward, and he just didn't have, you know, it was too fast of a start for him to recover. It had nothing to do with like the wounds. So then like the damage train kind of started back and forth struggle too, with killing people, moving people, and everything along those lines. You know, and with Ahsoka doing what Ahsoka does, jumping up, hitting people, and because she started putting some wounds into the ISF because they were so far forward and everything along those lines.
Yeah.
So it started the train going and everything along those lines. The biggest mistake I think I made is I never put attacks into into Paz Vizsla, because goes into struggle 3. My back right objective was the active one, and he pulls Paz all the way up to onto that one. Well, and that becomes a priority point. I forget who I send over. I want to say it was like Iden came over to put an attack into Paz, and Iden does what Iden does. Definitely takes him out, hits him, kills him. But what can he do instead whenever like he goes down? He can sit there and play. He can wake himself back up and put the two injured tokens on him. So yeah, that's basically what he did. Woke himself back up, kept the point, and like not flipping that point, like, because that was the priority point at that point in time. Not being able to flip that priority point was really kind of what happened, because like there was a lot of times I was putting attacks into like the Mandalorians, and it was again, we were like one down the tree, maybe two down the tree, so I just wasn't getting enough damage into him. I think I probably put like 3 or 4 attacks into the Clan Kreese. It took like 4 attacks into the Clan Kreese to actually put them down,
Whoa.
And so yeah, it's like I said, like, and it was the same with Izzy. Like a lot of his attacks were like, he goes 1 down the tree, okay, I do 2 damage. It was like, just there was a lot of like pillow fisted attacks, and like, so we had a lot of wounds by the time it was all said and done, but like we went to mission critical, so we played the full 3 rounds, and it was a very, very long game, so it took us a long time, because we went through each deck. We were almost two full shuffles through the deck when it was all said and done, and I played Vader and shuffled Vader, and I shuffled Vader back in once. So and his Clan Kreese, or no, the covert Mandos were actually removed from the board, like on the last activation. So I mean, like,
whoa,
it was a long
what are you
game.
guys doing?
Right. It was just, like I said, it was a great game. There was a lot of positioning going back and forth, but like I said, there was a lot of like just attacks that just the dice just for both of us were just like, we'll kind of do something, but we kind of won't. It was more like, we would. It was statistically probably like average rolls for both of us, to where it was like, okay, you're rolling 6 dice or 6 on offense. I'm rolling, 4 or 5 on defense. I get 3 blocks. You get a crit and 2 hits. So it's like, okay, 1 down the tree. There was a lot of those types of attacks going on, where it was just like, okay, you got the 1 crit. There was like not a lot of crits to go through. It was mostly, just weak hits. So it was interesting. So you ended up pulling it out like 2-1 at the end, but it was a fun game, very, very back and forth type of stuff. But like that Paz Vizsla play was like clutch, like just being able to stand him back up after he went down was really kind of what, like, okay, I needed to flip that point and couldn't because of that. So
see, I may have to, after this story and the fun I was having with this Cam Mando list, I might have to put Oops All Mandos back on the table, and I know Paz is slow, but he is such a cool kid.
Yeah, he did well. I mean, it was like he didn't do a lot, like he does as the few things that he does, but like late game he was clutch. He was really clutch late game. So that was really kind of where it went with him. So yeah, and then your last game, you come into your last game, you're playing Andrew. You guys are both 0-2 at this point in time. It was a rough day for both of you.
So
And your list locked.
So yeah, well, but I wasn't super concerned because my other list is Cassian Kanan, and I don't have a problem running that into anything except maybe like dedicated like a Cam Obi-Wan that's on like really heavy into the hunker synergies, but it was fine as far as I was concerned because I really think I would have done way worse. I know that's silly to say because I did lose to Dane anyway, but I did think I made the right call against his list because his was just different enough that I don't know how that would have gone if I had brought Cassian Kanan. And so we go into this one, and so Andrew was playing. Let's see. It was Hunter. It was all clones. It was Hunter and Delta Squad, and he had Crosshair and the 212th on the other side. Yeah. And so this game, again, like the gods of variance, please stop hurting me because we had like we both had, and I don't even just mean me. I had turn 1 Shatterpoint. He had turn 1 Shatterpoint. And after I had run out of force during my last game because I had to reserve so much because of weirdness, I was like, you know what? I know this is Cassian, but I'm just going to use my Shatterpoint card to move up and secure a point. But then we were playing on the generator room, and I don't know what I did with my measurement or what happened, but like I moved Kanan up with his dash, I moved Ezra forward, then I took cover and I moved over to the far point that was active, and I should have been within 2, I thought, but I don't know. Maybe it's been a while since I've tried to move a primary over to one of those the further away objectives, the ones that are range 2 on Never Tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I moved Kanan all the way over there, I thought, and then I get there, and I'm, like, just outside range 2, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, this is... Not only did I just waste my Shatterpoint card, but I didn't secure the point. And, like, that is on me. Like I should have just put the Shatterpoint card back, even though I'm only running 5 force, and it's really tight. Or I should have just run up the commandos. But I had been doing that a lot, Todd. Like, over the whole day, my coverts went down, my 501st went down, all because I kept having weird order deck situations where I had no choice but to run them up the board. And I was like, I'm not doing this again. I am not running Rebel Commandos up, not attacking with them, and then watching them get turned into paper mache by Hunter and the clones. But maybe I should have, because then that started things off weird. Except then, if I remember right, Andrew almost had the same problem, because like he moved Hunter, because then he got his Shatterpoint. So then he tried to move, and he remembered his Hunter trigger. And then, I don't know, did he move the 212th? I'm trying to remember. He Shatterpointed something weird first, and the same thing happened to him. He didn't get on the point either. And we're like, looking at each other, and we're like, what is happening with our movement? And again, I don't know if it was like the generator room has the large bases, so you do have to like slightly angle your moves, but like we're both pretty experienced players. Like we're like, what's going on? Then eventually he gets Hunter onto the point. I think he got like the reposition, or you play Hunter more than I do. Doesn't he have movement somewhere on his?
Yeah, he's got a lot of movement all over the place. I mean, there's. Are you talking about on his tree, or are you talking about on in his card? Because he can do. He has that. He has that striking distance where he can dash and make a 5 dice attack. Which basically like. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. So he's got a lot of movement. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. Anyway, so eventually he's able to get on the point, and he pushes back. He pushes back at Kanan, because I think How did I get Kanan over there eventually? Oh, I remember. That was one of the early wounds that I got. It's like so he. This is how bad my day went. He ran over with Hunter because he had gotten. That's right. He had gotten the 212th like almost over there and put some chip damage into Kanan and trying to keep Kanan from getting on the point. And then Hunter ran over, got within striking distance, and brutalized Kanan. Kanan went down, and I'm
Nice.
like, what? Oh my word! I was like, how did Kanan eventually get on the point? Oh yeah, he was dead when he got on the point. That was super fun, and that is the theme of this game because
Right.
our defense dice collectively decided not to do anything. And this was kind of happening to me a lot today, but our offensive dice it chose violence. Like there was like, and I can't complain. My rolls were crazy, but he had crosshair and crosshair plus delta. Like I'm just fast forwarding because this is my favorite part of this game. Because I'm moving Cassian up and using the revenge triggers to try and secure points because he's just laying into me because Kanan goes down and then Crosshair goes into Cassian. He rolled 5 crits, Todd, and then got 2 more from Crosshair's expertise on a
Nice.
13 die attack because of the extra dice everybody gives him.
Yep. I mean, 13. That's what's crazy playing into boss is like just, oh, you get a dice, and this person gives you a dice, and this one gives you a dice, and oh, by the way, and then this, and it's like you had Hunter in there. It's like, oh, Hunter has rerolls, and
And I'll be honest,
I mean,
like Andrew had missed a couple of his rerolls because we were like going over our triggers because we were having a because he and I both looked at each other after the first couple of like weird things that we did. And we were like, "Are we just having fun? We're just having fun because this is getting weird." And then
you're right.
and then that roll. I'll be honest with you, Todd. I know it was towards the end of the game. I jumped ahead because like. Or no, it was the end. I think it was towards the end of Struggle 1 because I hadn't even gotten Cassian onto a point yet. Like I had gotten him above a point because I was trying to get to one of his back lines, and Cassian just got obliterated, just shot off the table. And this is kind of where, all right, everyone, I went 0-3 yesterday, and my Longshanks record is not the best. So take this with a grain of salt. But this game showcased how somebody can very much play around the Cassian Kanan list. Because by the end of the game, he had what, 6? This was the 6 wound one, right?
You had 6 wounds, yeah. Yeah, you had 6 wounds into you on 2 of your games, so yeah.
Yeah. So, 2 of the wounds were on Cassian from very improbable heights. Like, the second Cassian, he had, like, 1 damage and, like, a pin on him and got full treat again. And you're like, dude, like, this is my primary. Like that was the other thing. I was on, like, all the crit mitigation sides during a lot of my defense rolls, and Andrew's dice were like, what if we chose violence in the form of every strike I can possibly give you?
Nice. So yeah, no, that was. It sounds like, and then this was another match that went to time with you too.
No, we.
Like you finished like right at time, I think. Yeah, but it was like
no,
right at time. Like you guys had like 2 minutes
we,
left or something.
Yeah, every time. Like I'm sorry. I'm only pointing out that I just want to say we never decided a game due to tiebreakers. My games were just messy and long and happened to end at time, which is probably for the best for me after all of this. But then what ultimately came down, there was one mistake I made in this game, but at this point, like, I was getting tired and the day had not been going well. When we finally got over to, I think it was Struggle 2. It was either Struggle 2 or Struggle 3. I think it was Struggle 3. I used a Cassian trigger to run Baze or Chirrut, one of those two, up onto a point because I was so focused on where we had just been fighting that I was like, I need to get another body over on that point, completely forgetting that I didn't actually have anyone on the point that was closest to mine, and I should have just run Ezra over onto that objective. Which then I kind of felt bad for Andrew because I guess he didn't see that line at all because then on his next activation he wounded somebody again. Like I was over there kicking myself going, why didn't I do that? And then he wounded somebody and I was like, oh good, okay, Cassian, send the boy over there. I gotta fix my mistake. And then Andrew's like, oh, and I was like, yeah, I messed up. I was supposed to do that last turn. And he was like, oh, I wouldn't have wounded somebody if I had known. But also, Todd, by the time I got into Struggle 3, like three of my 6 models were down. Like Sabine finally went down at the end of the game. That's what ended the game because he needed a wound. But my Rebel commandos had been down for most of the game. They took, I think, 1 wound. Cassian took 2. Kanan took, let's see. Rebel commandos. Cassian had 2 wounds. Kanan had 1. What was? Trying to remember where the other wound was, because basically the point I'm trying to make to get to the end of this is that the only time he wounded a Spectre and I got my attack off was when Kanan was wounded, and then at the very, very end of the game with Sabine, and I'll tell that story in a minute because I got another micrometer for you, Ketty. And I don't like every time I just sat there and I was like, if this was PLC, this would be going completely differently because I would have gotten a revenge attack every single time. Now, is Cassian supposed to go down multiple times? Is Kanan supposed to go down? And like, if Kanan was PLC, she wouldn't have gotten a revenge trigger either. Whatever. I know, but it just felt like I couldn't do enough with Cassian without having access to like a reliable revenge trigger. Like Andrew just did a great job of, I am not touching the teenagers. They're staying there. I'm going to shoot everyone else and you don't get revenge triggers.
Yep. Go after the juicy supports is usually the best way to go about it, is take them out.
Yeah. Oh, Bazin Chirrut took a wound. That's right. That was the other. I remember. I was like, well, who else took a wound? So I don't know. I'm probably going to run that same list back, but with Princess Leia instead. And maybe this is just a play style thing of me. I don't like, one, having to remember too many triggers, and then having to remember 2 different versions of the trigger with Kanan. Like, Kanan's fun when you're playing a lot of Spectres, and you pretty much are always, getting your revenge triggers. But then the micrometer story. Todd. I had to flip Kanan into Sarisu because I needed the extra dice to take a point. So I did that. But then at the end of the game, the way he won was with Sabine, and I had 2 options. One that I didn't think was very good, which I could keep him on the point that I was at, and then try to push one of, I think it was 7 Scorch, whichever guy has Steadfast, which is the important part, and try to push him off in Sarisu with the 5 dice attack. And I was like, I don't know that that's going to work. Whereas Boss had like 6 damage on him, or 7. I don't know. He had enough damage on him that if I jumped up, ran over there, and then did a melee attack into him, I could be on the point, keep him from taking that point, not from Sabine, because Sabine wasn't in range anymore, but keep him from taking that point and get a wound myself. And then, like, I know we weren't, like, we would have been at time at that point, and that would have been, I'm trying to remember, I think that means I would have had 2 points. I don't even remember now. I think that would have decided it, but unfortunately, I was like literally like a millimeter outside of melee range, and I wasn't on pack leader, so no dice, no fun for me. And the one time he was in pack leader for most of the game, but then I needed the one attack to have extra dice and shoving, and I'm immediately punished for my hubris.
Yep. No, I mean it makes sense. Well, I'll try and run through my last game. I don't think we're going to have time to talk Rift, Jace, basically, because we're already 50 minutes in, but we'll see. So basically, yeah, my last game was into Austin, the Magalodor or Magalator is what it is.
That's Dane's brother, right?
That's Dane's brother. Yeah, I played Dane's brother. So so yeah, I played into Austin. He was list locked into at least playing CAD. So I dropped the bounty hunter list again with CAD and Mando, and he brought Riff with them. So kind of going into the scoundrel thing of it all. And like Riff does Riff things like Terror from Below and Blood in the Water are freaking amazing. So there was definitely a lot of that. I mean, you add Terror from Below along with Riptide, and holy cow, it's fantastic. So it's, or not Terror from Below, but Blood in the Water with Riptide. I mean, it's from Nasarai. So it's a great list. I think with this game, IG88 and like everything that he brings to the game really kind of was the turning point. Being able to just I engineer success yet it eludes me, with which allows him to any bounty hunter to add 3 dice as long as the if the target is consisting of active objective. I mean, it's just like, okay, so it's like basically just being able to do that is really kind of what really did a lot of the damage there, of course, because it's like when you go from a 7 dice attack to a 10 dice attack, and you can afford to have like 4 fails sometimes, and it's like, and I think that was really starting to frustrate Austin because it's like he's like, you're just having these amazing rolls, and it's like I wasn't really having amazing rolls. I was having like statistically maybe a little above average because I still had like a lot of fails in all of my rolls. It's just that I'm rolling a lot of dice, and when you're always rolling a lot of dice, you're going to have a lot more successes than you would on an average roll. You add 3 extra dice in there. Yep. But one of the other things that like comes up too, that like you can use sparingly is the always gets the job done ability of IG88, where basically you get within 2, you roll 3 dice, and you put a condition, and they throw 3 defensive dice, and then you get to put a condition on for each face of the dice that you roll. So if you get a block, you give them a strain. If you get an expertise, you give them a disarm, and if you get a fail, you give them expose. And I rolled that and it hit the trifecta, put all 3 conditions on Rift Hands.
What?
Yeah. So it's like putting that into a primary is so good, especially when you hit like 2 or 3 of those. Like it's just, it's ridiculous. So basically because of that, I also had pin on him. So basically put 4 conditions. He had put all 4 conditions on Rift Hands at one point in time. Which was just brutal. So basically there was an activation with Rift where it's like he had to spend one of his actions getting rid of a condition so he could do something else. It's like had to get rid of the strain, because I think I also had him on like enough damage to where like it would kill him if he took the strain or something like that, because he was like sitting on 6 damage. So it was just like, it's like, so his overall, I mean, IG88 just brings a lot to the game, because it can also just, this high priority target his activation ability where he can just dash forward and gets a focus. It's like, okay, well, no matter what, he's automatically going from 7 to 8 dice if he's within range 5 of an enemy character, which you activate him like second or halfway through the order deck. Yeah, he's going to be doing that, especially when he makes a dash first. So it's just, he gets a focus, so like he's automatically rolling 8 dice. You can bump that up to 11. Like, I take it if he's firing into someone who's on an active objective. So it's like, okay, that's 11 dice that he gets to roll. Like, so it's just, I mean, he's the full tree of thing with bounty hunters just happens a lot, and like that was kind of the thing where it's just like I'm just getting a lot of successes because like to Austin's to his defense, his defensive dice were probably a little below average. So it's like he would get 2 blocks, but I would have like 7 successes, because I'm rolling 11 dice. So it's like, okay, I'm rolling slightly above average and I'm rolling a lot more dice. He's rolling slightly below average. And when I'm rolling more dice than average and I'm already rolling slightly above average and you're below average, it's like, okay, 5 down the tree, 6 down the tree. I mean, there's a couple times where it's like, okay, I only go 2 down the tree, but I went 5 down the tree probably the majority of the time of my attacks with bounty hunters, especially when I was adding the 3 dice. So it was it was pretty brutal. And I mean, I won the first struggle. I mean, and it was a slog to get through the second struggle. Like I think that he was not, I wouldn't say he was on tilt, but he was getting a little frustrated because like typically on shifting priorities, whoever gets the first struggle, whoever is like chooses the mission on struggle 2 typically can win that pretty quickly, and he was in danger of getting 2-0'd. So it was like there was one of those where it's just like there was just a slog, and I think like that kind of like spending all of the resources and everything along those lines didn't really help, and he wasn't getting a lot of his wounds when he needed to get wounds, especially to recover his force, because he's only playing with like 5 force. So a lot of his wounds that he did get against me were just not very timely, so he wasn't refreshing the force that he needed to. So there was I think at one point in time, like halfway through the second shuffle, he was completely out of force. So like that was, I think, a big problem there, was like he wasn't bringing a lot of force to begin with and wasn't refreshing the force like you wanted to. I mean, that's one of the things with CAD, like you definitely want to be refreshing the force when you can. And there's not bounty hunters, so CAD's only getting the 1 force refresh, not the 2 that he would with bounty hunters. So there was a lot of just little things like that. And as I was pumping wounds out, because I did 5 wounds, I mean, it's like now I'm taxing your force and you're not refreshing force like you want to. So there was just a lot of rough stuff that happened for Austin there, or as we like to say, Dane's brother.
Yeah, it's okay, Dane's brother. I feel your pain of getting swept 0-2. I only won 1 struggle yesterday, Todd. Like that's even like I usually do not like just get run over. So I'm gonna shake it off. It's fine.
Yep.
You know, fall down. He get back up.
Austin did win a struggle there. He ended up losing 2-1, but it was, like I said, it was a slog for sure. But yeah, no, it's you had a rough day. There was 2 people that went 0-2, and one of them was, or 0-3, I should say, and one of them was the Momentous Panda. He had a rough day yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it like this, but Todd, it's been a long time since I've got O and X in an event. Like even at big Magic tournaments, like like I would at least have like a 50% win rate. Like I'd go 2-2, or like the last time I remember doing this was I think it was my first time in a limited like a big sealed event for the like Magic
like
Fest.
a PPTQ or
but
something.
I mean they
like
weren't
that.
called. Yeah, they weren't called Magic. They weren't called Magic
like
Fest.
Grand
What were they
Prix
called before?
Grand Prix.
Oh yeah, the GT is Grand or GPs or whatever, Grand Prix. Yeah, those things. Whatever yeah, I was not prepared for sealed at that level and got my butt kicked in. But that was like 10 years ago. I think that was like my second or third big event. Like, and I just had a rough morning that whole time. But like usually I can squeak out a win, but oh well. I don't know. I'm probably exaggerating. I'm sure I've lost a big F&M or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It was just a rough day for you. I mean, well, like I said, we had 14 players, which was fantastic. Probably would have been more.
Yeah.
I know some people were working. I mean, we had 2 guys that are up at the Evergreen Open that are playing. I mean, I don't think there's any new results yet up there coming in. But yeah, no, still they're still in the middle. I think they've only been going for about an hour now. I think they started at 9 our time. It's about 10. So yeah, great stuff there. But yeah, like I said, we're about an hour in. We'll save the Rift talk for next week. I think. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, sure. We can talk about it later.
I don't want to dive too into it. I don't like going like longer than an hour and some change. But yeah, so we'll call it there.
Todd's like, I can only talk to this man for so long. Don't make me go.
It gets exhausting. But yeah, no, I mean,
No,
so
we don't want it to be Red Mandos. Come on now.
I know, like 4 hours, and like we're like, oh wait, what were we talking about? No, like I love those guys; they're fantastic. But yeah, we'll save that for next week. But yeah. So before we go, as always, I want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in. Oh, yeah, Aubrey's got something. Hold on, he cut me off.
I know. Yeah, I was like, wait, I have one more shout out. If you aren't listening to Between Two Sprues, those guys are hilarious. I listened to the last couple of episodes because I was behind. I'm just always behind on podcast episodes, whatever. But yeah, I skip them sometimes because I'm just like I missed like 4 episodes. I don't even know anymore. We'll just listen to the latest one. But I listened to their last 2. Oh my word! If you want to have a laugh out loud moment, go listen to their last 2 episodes.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic
already.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Poos because Poos is coming down to play in the GT down here for the Phoenix GT, so he's going to be down here in 2 weeks. So I'm like super hyped to see Poos. And like all the people that are coming from out of state, I'm excited to see. So, but yeah, Poos is coming down. So definitely listen to their stuff. I mean, it's fantastic for sure. I don't know. I think he even gave a shout out to like me and Omnis, like just crushing out and like their podcast and how great it is. Because like it's fantastic. It's definitely it's fun. Like it's more a bunch of guys hanging out and they occasionally talk about Shatterpoint, like just 2 nerds kind of hanging out talking nerd stuff. And oh, by the way, here comes some Shatterpoint stuff. So no, it's definitely a fantastic podcast. Definitely check it out if you haven't. It's worth the listen. But yeah, so with all of that said, as always, I want to thank all of our listeners. You guys are fantastic. We always appreciate everything that you do. And everything that all the support that you guys give us. If you want to continue to support us, you can definitely do so by becoming a patron. It's as little as $1 a month and definitely helps us with all the different things that we do, like running the podcast, doing the streams and all of that. So it definitely helps us out. We do appreciate all of our patrons. I do want to shout out, we do have a new patron as part of the Scoundrels of the Struggle with Sin. Sin, thank you very much for becoming a patron. You are fantastic. And that said, if you want to sit there and listen to some great content, Sin does rarely reserved with Omnis as well, his new podcast. So that's fantastic stuff as well. So definitely check those 2 out if you are if you're into listening to some great content. So definitely fantastic stuff and a really cool point of view from her as a new player in the game and everything along those lines. So definitely worth a listen as well. But if Patreon is not right for you, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that one kind of reminds me of there was a Magic podcast where one player was a long-time legacy player and played in all these old formats, and then he had his co-host was a younger, newer player who hadn't been around Magic at all during that time, and it's kind of cool to get the same vibes because we're getting to watch Sin in real time discover the game, and Omnis is like over there like all Palpatine with Anakin going do it the whole time. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think she's been in the gaming world for a long time with especially on the hobby side and stuff like that. So it's not like she's new to gaming. But yeah, definitely new to Shatterpoint for sure. But yeah, so definitely, if like you're not able to do Patreon, we definitely understand that. Rate and review the podcast on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on, or subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. All that kind of stuff. Leaving comments definitely helps us out as well. But other than that, as always, thanks again for listening. And the most Aubrey thing you can do is go O and X on an event and then just blame it on being old and stuff like that.
I was tired.
We'll blame it on being tired. Sorry.
May the force be with you.